When I first considered areas that I wanted to explore for my independent study assignment, I was drawn to researching several areas of interest to me. These included the place of comic books and superhero media and culture, the politicization of American popular entertainment, especially film and TV, and the extent to which content and messaging is controlled or influenced by societal forces and/or governmental authority. I was keen to discover the role that politics had played in the emergence of the superhero film genre, such as the Marvel Cinematic Universe over the last few decades, achieving box office takings of over $3 billion per year in each of 2018 and 2019. Initially, I was thinking about this just in terms of are superheroes on the right, left, or center politically. While this is an interesting starting point, and an area that has given rise to academic research, that I began to contemplate just as soon as I finished my second year classes and assessment, my personal tutor started me thinking, even before the current academic year had started, about how to expand this further into aspects that were potentially even more interesting, and which forced me to address my own thinking and understanding of the topic. Rather than just trawling through the pantheon of superheroes that had propelled box office takings of the superhero films into the stratosphere, which in this case means over $3 billion per year in each of 2018 and 2019, and seeing which characters might have registered themselves as Democrats and which might have been considered rhino Republicans, my dissertation advisor helped me to focus on the broader background to what might be called superhero politics. To what extent do superheroes reflect popular political sensibilities, or even might be considered as an extension of the state and national propaganda? I discovered that European cinema, since the earliest days, has exploited the positive associations of mythological figures of their own specific culture. For instance, French filmmakers have capitalized on Joan of Arc, English ones on Robin Hood or King Arthur. In contrast, America, being a much younger nation, didn't have such a history and didn't even have the same attachment to global cultures that predated America, such as Greek or Norse gods. This helped forge America's need to create its own mythology, which in turn gave rise to superheroes. Noam Chomsky has described the American Declaration of Independence as the first American superhero script, adding that the framers of the Declaration and the Constitution instilled deep paranoia, including fear of zombies, in the people of the new country that persists to this day, with America always about to face destruction from some terrible, awesome enemy, and at the last moment were saved by a superhero. I trace this paranoia from 1776 all the way to the present day. The instilling of fear and the reliance of superhero saviors has reoccurred in various media evolutions and iterations, from the 19th century archetype of Nick of the Woods through Zorro, the Lone Ranger, and all the way to the latest version of Puss in Boots. The history of government-induced paranoia of the American people is the origin story of the superhero itself. These discoveries illuminated a great deal about the structure of American politics, history, culture, and society. But one character in particular provided the greatest epiphany on my learning journey. I already knew something of the background story of Superman, but a deeper study led me to framing the creation of Superman within a disaffected popular movement that tried, in 1930s America, to push back on the idea that only model American society can produce the saviors the American people needed. It also led me to the realization of how dissenting or subversive voices like Superman in comic books, or Peter Seeger and Woody Guthrie in folk music, ended up being captured by the forces of the state when the American state played the patriotism card in World War II. This framework helped me contextualize the battle between critics of the state and the forces of the state, and ultimately between the people, the media, American societal attitudes, the state, propaganda, fear, and control, and how these evolved through post-war episodes, including McCarthyism, the civil rights movements, and the War on Terror. At the outset, I hadn't realized the central cultural role played by superheroes in that nexus of relationships. I certainly hadn't realized the irony that Superman would lead me to both a deeper and broader understanding of both superhero media and of truth, justice, and the American way. The relationship between any state and all media is complex. Throughout its history, the American state has largely sought to use superheroes and their precursors as a channel through which the messaging of the state has been broadcast. Dissident voices have also used superheroes as a channel to fight back against the state. At the time of writing, the state continues to hold the upper hand with superhero media, presently reduced to fighting back either narrowly on specific issues or, like so many media, having to use symbolic, allegorical, or subliminal messaging to subvert the influence of the state. My independent study assessment, or how I learned how superheroes have been used in manipulation and misrepresentation of the truth and justice in the American way.